Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have a super exciting video for you guys today because I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how I made my kit sticker things for budgeting. Whatever. I'll show you what I mean. So if you guys have been watching my channel, you know that I just started budgeting in a Erin Condren planner. It just says budget planner. Isn't it cute? I love this little cover. But yeah, so I started planning in there and I realized right away that I did not want to continue to buy weekly stickers for my life planner, which I love doing, so I didn't want to stop that. But I didn't want to have to buy stickers for in here, but I knew that if I didn't make it cute, I would not use it. So I started making my own. Now I've only made 1 month, but I had so many people ask me to do a tutorial on how I did it, so that's what we're here to do today. Now, you will see a lot of script stickers in here. I have already done a tutorial on how to make those in detail, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about how I make each one. I might overview one and then be done, but you can definitely go check that video out if you want more in depth on how to do that. It would definitely help you out if you want to make your own to kind of understand what I did here. But anyways, this is what I'm talking about. So I made this like strip thing at the top. I made all of these stickers. They're the same thing on there. I made that one. And then I also made, so that's like my, I could have like turned you guys top down, but that's like my view from the month. And then I made a budget kit, which I can, go into more detail about here in a minute. And then we budget specifically by paycheck. So I made a paycheck 1 kit and a paycheck 2 kit. So that's what I'm going to do today for you guys. I will be making an October kit. So I know it's August. You probably think I'm crazy. I'm already making October, especially when I don't sell. It doesn't make sense for me to make one that early. But I had a girl reach out to me from Cricut Budgets over on Etsy. Her first name is Kate and her last name is I don't want to butcher it. It's like Albrecht, I think. Albrecht, maybe? I'm not really sure, and I could be completely wrong. Kate, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry, but I don't know how to say your last name, and I do not want to butcher it because I just don't want to do that. So anyways, she is being super generous and is going to be sending me a September kit to show you guys for our budget. So instead of me making a September kit today in this video, I'm going to make October, but you guys will still get the same gist because it's the same thing for every month. Now, keep in mind, I do not make a weekly check-in right now. We don't have any sinking funds, so I don't make a tracker for that. But really, once you get down the layout of everything, it's really smoothly to add different trackers. Once you've got everything in mind of what you like, especially that main, like the strip headers and all that kind of stuff and all the scripts, once you know how to do it, it's not that hard. You can add on anything. So the point of me saying that is once you guys watch this video and learn how to make the stickers yourself, you can then add on whatever else you want. You don't have to have me to teach you do that because it's very simple. You just keep making the same thing over and over again, basically, and changing the scripts. So I feel like that was a lot really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. I wanted to share a few things with you first. I have a Cricut. I was going to try and turn you guys. I don't think you'll be able to see anyways. I have the Cricut Explore Air 2. So that's what we'll be using as a Cricut machine. I'm sure it's similar on a Silhouette, but I've never used a Silhouette, so I can't really, justify that. And I'll also be using an HP printer. It's like an Office Jet something. But anyways, that's what I'll be using to print everything. And then the sticker papers that I used are online labels. It's from onlinelabels.com, but I got it off of Amazon. And it is just matte removable sticker paper. So that's what we will be using. So I think that covers everything. I'll be using a digital paper, scrapbooking paper, whatever you want to call it, that I purchased off Etsy. I originally purchased it for September, but I just changed the sheets that I picked to make it look more October-ish. So it has pumpkins, it's orange, you guys will see it in a minute. I think for the most of this part, I'll be doing like a screen recording of my computer of me actually making the stickers, but you'll be able to hear me, walking you through it and everything. And then once I get everything made and it's ready to send to the printer and start cutting, I will bring you guys back up like this, show you guys what it looks like, kind of walk you through those steps. But that's the easiest part, is sending it to the printer and printing it. The getting it made part is where most of you guys are probably wanting to know what I do. So without further ado, I'm going to quit rambling and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'll see you guys on the computer. Okay guys, so we are here in Cricut Design Space, and I am sharing my whole computer screen. Usually I would just share this like one frame from here to over here, but I wanted you guys to see me click and drag the things that I'm going to be using so that I can give you guys the full experience of, what we're doing here. So beside me, y'all can't see it obviously because we're on the computer, but beside me I have a little list of the dimensions of everything that we're going to be making. So I can share that I can share that with you guys after we get this done, or while we're doing it. I can tell you what I'm making everything. That way y'all just kind of know, what it is. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do is start setting up the stuff for the calendar page. So what we're going to do first is go over here to upload, and I'm going to hit upload image. Now I'm going to come over here and drag this guy into this, and y'all will see it in just a second. It says it might take a moment. That's okay. You always want to choose complex. I can show you what it does. If you click simple, it's going to change the way it's got to catch up. But typically, if you click anything, so see, it kind of takes some of the colors away, and even on simple, it'll probably take some more of the colors away. So we don't want it to do that yet. So see, now we're back to just two colors. So we want to keep it complex so it keeps everything. We have our little scarecrows, our pumpkins, everything in there, the leaves. You get all the details with complex. So that's what you want to keep it as. And then you just hit continue. Now when you come here, you can see a close-up of what I'm dealing with. So we have our scarecrow, acorns, leaves, this little wheat stuff. It's really cute. I thought the pumpkins would be more fitting for October, so that's what I chose to use. Now I'm going to zoom all the way out so I can kind of see the whole thing at one point in time. And then I'm going to come over here to crop. Now you can pick wherever you want to crop. With this one, I'm going to start cropping right above this scarecrow's head. Oops, I didn't start. And I'm going to come all the way over. And I'm going to come down just to about the top of this scarecrow's head, just so that I get that whole row. I'll have all this in my sticker. If you don't do this, it will distort it when you go to make your strip headers. So make sure that you crop out a rectangle. You don't want it to be that big image that it was to begin with. You just want this skinnier rectangle. Now you don't want to make it too small either. Kind of make sure that you get everything that you want to see with it. And with each pattern, it may just be because I'm new at doing this, but with each pattern I try to use, I may have to come back in a minute and, redo that, make it a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger. We'll just kind of play around with it and see. I'm sure once you, get to be a pro at this, which I am in no way not. Oh, I am in no way a pro. I don't know what I was trying to say. But anyways, I'm not a pro at this, so I'm sure those of you who are, or people who do this, for a living or have Etsy shops, they're probably a lot better at kind of guessing what they need. And there may be an easier way to do this. This is just how I do it, and it works. So I crop it. I don't do anything else. I hit continue. And then it should come up as a save as a print, then cut image. You don't want to do save as a cut image. You want to make sure this one is clicked. And then we'll just give it a name. So I'm just going to say Scarecrow Background. It doesn't really matter what name you give it. You can do a letter, whatever. But I always save it as something. That way I can search for it later if I'm looking for this one again. So then we'll just give it a second to go. Sometimes this takes a little bit, especially with these that have a lot of detail in them with all these different little things. If it was like a solid color or something like that, it wouldn't take as long. And also my internet is a little choppy sometimes, so I do apologize if something takes a little bit longer than it typically would. But anyway, so we get to this page. I'm going to go ahead and click on it just so it's selected and hit insert. Alright, so now here we have this huge thing. So as you can tell, it's 25. And what it's saying up here is in inches. So right now it's 25 inches long. So that's over 2 feet. We obviously don't need that. If you have an Erin Condren Life Planner, the 7x9, that's exactly what I have. Or not the Life Planner, I meant the monthly planner or the Life Planner. They're the same size layout for the 7x9. Your strip header, you're going to want to do no more than 6.5 inches. So I'm going to choose this. I'm going to come up here and change it to 6.5 and hit enter. And that dials it down a lot. So that way it'll fit into the thing. Now, mine hangs over a little bit when I put it into my planner, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. I would rather have more than I need than not enough. I wouldn't, I want to make sure I have plenty versus not cutting out what the total of what I need. So that's just kind of my own preference, I guess. But it looks a little wonky at the bottom, but I think it's just my eyes. But yeah, so anyways, we've got this. So I do 6.5 this way. So from here to here, 6.5, as you can see. And then this number, we want to make it 1.25. So you're going to have to hit the unlock button, and then you're going to change this to 1.25. If you didn't hit the unlock button first, it would distort it a whole lot more than what we just did. So as you can tell, it kind of stretched it out a little bit. So the only way that I know to fix this at this point would be to go back over here to upload, drag that back in, get it down a little bit less than what we did, and try again. That's just kind of the nature of the beast with this one, is just trying to figure out what works to make this pattern look okay. So what I'm going to do is do exactly what I just said. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to drag this guy back in, we're going to hit complex, we're going to hit continue, I'm going to zoom all the way out, come over here to crop. I'm going to start at this scarecrow guy's head. I'm still going to come down to this one, but I'm going to make it just a little bit shorter. We're going to go to about right here. And I think we'll try that. I may end up having to come back and make it skinnier this way. That might be my issue because it is stretching it out. So let's go ahead and try that. I just hit back and we're going to go through it again. I'm going to go ahead and try just to make it a little bit skinnier. We are going to have to cut the pumpkin into pieces. We're going to start about like halfway through this pumpkin, this yellow one, or orange, dark, lighter orange, whatever you want to say. So I'm going to cut it right there, hit continue, and I'm going to say scarecrow background again. Make sure this is selected and hit save. Again, it's going to take it a hot minute, just as, you know, it is what it is. So we're going to let this continue to go, and as soon as it goes, we can get it reformatted, and hopefully this will work a little bit better than what it did the first time. So we shall see. Now, if it will just come on. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go over here. It's taking a second. I'm going to click on this again, load it in. I'm going to leave this one here just so we can make sure which looks the best, because this just doesn't cut it for me, I don't think. I'm going to go ahead and change this one down to 6.5. And then I'm going to hit the unlock button. I'm going to come over here and we're going to do 1.25. Now that is still going to stretch it out some. So I think I'm going to zoom in. 175 is actually giving you an accurate depiction of what it will look like once you cut it. So I think this looks a lot better than that. So this is what we're going to go with. So I'm just going to delete this one because we don't even need it. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out just for the purposes of making it easier for everybody to see everything, but you don't have to do that part either. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is just copy and paste this. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to come up here and click duplicate. So that gives me one for each side of my planner. So they'll really be like this inside your planner. This will have Sunday through Wednesday. This will have Thursday through Saturday, and then that little notes section. That's just, you know, whatever. That's how it is. So now I'm going to zoom back in now that we've got both of these made. And I'm going to try and get them both in the picture here. I'm going to come over here to shapes. I'm going to choose a square. And then once I get this square in here, I'm going to unlock this so I can freely, you know, make it into whatever I want to make it. I'm going to make it into a 0.25 thickness. We definitely want to keep it at a 0.25 thickness. So I'm going to lock it back. And then we want to make it, well, here, I better unlock it because we're going to make it 6.5. All right, and then we'll lock this back so it can't change. So now you have this little guy. What I'm going to do is center him right over this. And I'm actually, right now he's a cut image. So I'm going to come up here to no fill and change him to a print image. That way he won't have that black border around him. And I'm just going to try and line him up the best that I possibly can with our little background here so that he covers everything. I feel like he's a little bit shorter than this guy, but theoretically he should not be. So we're going to come up here. We're going to, I think it's center horizontally. Yes. So we're going to center it horizontally. That will line it up perfectly. So now it covers that. We're not going to leave it this gray color, but for right now, it's what works. So what we're going to do is copy and paste that too, so that we get one for each. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. We're just going to kind of line it up. And then, oops, I need to bump it down just a little bit. That looks a little better. Then we're just going to center it horizontally. That way we make sure everything is perfect. Now, as a total, this one stayed 1.25 because I lined it up perfectly on the bottom. This did not. With both of these, well, let's see. It actually didn't either. So what we're going to do is keep it together and come down to 1.25. Well, I don't want it to change this. So see, this is where I mean it's just literally a trial and error situation. I don't know why it got shorter because it's not actually shorter. That was very odd. Let's see. It's a little bit too big on this side, but it shouldn't be. Just go back down to 6.5. All right, so now we can just try and bump this guy up a little bit. We may not be able to get it perfectly. It's okay if it doesn't. To me, at least, it does not bother me that bad. I just try to get it as close as I possibly can to being a perfect, like, whatever. Once we get it all together, we can lock it into place and then change it. But that just, that'll take us a minute. All right, so we're going to leave it like this. You don't have to go through that whole process that I just did. You can do whatever. But we'll leave it like this for a second. So, now, let's see. What we're going to do is change this color. So we want it to be something a little more orangey or fallish. Let's see what brown looks like. So here I just kind of play around with it. I'll go through and just kind of pick some colors, what I think might look good, and just kind of, drag these around until I get a color that I like. Now I wish that it had the ability to kind of eye drop so that I could pick one of these colors, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. If you guys know, definitely tell me below, because it would be, really beneficial to know how to do that. Alright, so I can't seem to get the color that I'm really trying to go for here. I was trying to go for this color to begin with, but I'm not really, sorry, not this color. I was trying to go for this wheat color. I think that looks okay. It's not my favorite, but it'll do. We'll keep it for now, and I can always change it later. So what I'm going to do is click on it, come back over here to Advanced. I'm going to copy this number, and then come down here, and I'm going to do the same thing and just paste it over this so that it changes the color, and we're all good to go. So they match again. Alright, so now you have the base part of this done. So I'm going to grab both of these, and I'm going to come down here to flatten so that it kind of pulls it together as one thing. Those will print all as one piece. Here's where, if it bothers you, you can come back up here. You can unlock this, take that down a notch, lock it back, and you're back at a perfect 1.25. Typically, I wouldn't even bother to do that, but I just wanted to show you guys that you can. If it bothers you, change it back after you get it all locked together. So there we have the background part of our monthly view thing. So next, what we're going to do is, where's Safari? We're going to go to Safari. I'm going to pull up Pixlr.com. This is where I make all of my things, my scripts, sorry. And I am going to have to log in so that's not a big deal, but it's free to make an account, so it's not like a, huge, you have to pay for anything. Why is this not? Here we go. But yeah, it's free to make an account with them. I'm going to type in my email address. I don't mind if y'all have my email address. Truthfully, it's whatever. If you want to shoot me an email, go for it. I hardly ever check this one. I usually use my school email, so whatever. But, yeah, so you can make a free account, and you can do exactly what I'm about to do. I don't ever purchase anything extra, like, from Pixlr itself, so, whatever works for you. Alright, so now that I'm logged in, I'm going to go over here to Advanced Pixlr E. I don't know, I've never done the Playful Pixlr one, so I don't really know exactly what that is. And then we're going to go over here to create. I just leave it as whatever is picked. Usually it's this one. And I go over here. So this will open up a new, like, blank thing here. I'm sorry if y'all can hear that clicking noise. They are about to feed our dogs. And I don't know why my stepdad has to be so loud about it, but he likes to do that. Anyway, so we're here. So now I'm going to come over here to text. And when you hit text, you have to come back over here, double click. It'll ask you if you want to add a text layer. You'll hit add. And then you get this. You get to where you can type in what you want to say. So we're going to make our big header to say October. So we're going to start by just typing in October. And then we can pick our font. Now typically I would use the Gen Plans font, but I'm going to look through it and just see what else it has. My Gen Plans font is not currently in here. And I may just go ahead and do that. I probably should go ahead and do that, just so that I can show you guys how to import a local font into this system, into Pixlr. So I'm going to go over here and pull up Etsy, and I may have to cut this part out. I don't know if it's going to show any of my personal information for anything, but if it does, I'll cut this part out, and then I'll come back in whenever I start doing my other thing. Let's see, purchases and reviews. I don't think it's going to show anything personal, but if I look back at this later and realize it did, then we'll go from there. Alright, so here we've got this. I'm going to download the files again. I already have them imported into my font, like font book or whatever on my Mac, so I don't have to do this a lot. But now that we've got it in our download queue up here, I can exit off of this, come over here to add local font. Where is downloads? So you go to downloads, you can hit the genplans.ttf, it'll pull it up, and you can hit choose. And then that should add it in here. Yep, so now it's at the very top. So I'm going to come up here and just delete it out of this just because I like to keep that clean. And we're going to make sure that this is in the Gen Plans font. Alright, so once you've got it here, you can change the color. You want to do that first. So I'm actually going to come down here and change out this number for the number that we made the little strip at the bottom. We're going to try that and see how it looks. If it looks crazy, then we'll, adjust and try something else, but I think that'll look okay. And then I'm going to make it into an 8. So that just adds, if y'all didn't see what I did, I went to Style. I changed the color to just be a crisp white. And then I adjusted this to be a size 8. You can go all the way up to 10, but I feel like that's a little too chunky. So I do 8. You just want to make sure that anything that's like any circles or anything like that is all closed in with a white background. You just want to make sure that's all right. Alright, so now the next thing that you're going to want to do is come up here to File, Save, give it a name. You don't have to. I just like to do that. And then hit Download. And I'm going to hit Allow. You may not have to do that step. That's just mine. Alright, so now it's downloaded. It's up here in our download queue. So I'm going to go over here and upload a new image so that we can upload what we just did. We'll go to Browse, Downloads, and we'll hit the October PNG. Now for this one, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to keep it as a complex image. You don't have to do anything here. You just click Continue. It already has a name, so then you hit Save. And y'all, if I know that I'm going through this really quickly, if y'all have any questions after we're done, after you've watched it, whatever, just drop them in the comment box and in the description. No, drop them in the comments. Sorry, I'm really confused. And I will do my best to answer them as I can. So, go through this, and then you can kind of see what it will look like. So, I'm not going to keep it that big. I like it a lot around like that. Did I spell October right? Because that just looks really odd. I did. I don't know why that looks so weird. Anyways, we've got it there. I don't know how I really like that. You can make it as big as you want to. I don't like it to be huge. I like it to just kind of sit over here in the corner. I think we're just going to do it like this and leave it there. Just play with it until you get it right. Now, I don't put anything over here. You could put like October 2020. If you wanted to do that when you were in Pixlr, you would just type that out. Or you could put something over here. You would do it all the same way. That's just, that's whatever you like to do. So, the next thing that I'm going to do is come back over here and make a sticker for Sunday. A script for Sunday. And it will automatically save exactly what we just did with changing the little style up there. So now that I've got that, I'm going to hit File, Save, Sunday, and Download. And then I'm going to exit out of this. It's coming. There we go. Make that small. We're going to go through the whole process again, basically. So we're going to go to Browse, hit the Sunday, keep it complex. Don't have to do anything here. Just hit Continue. And it will automatically have a name and be on that one. And then you just hit Save. So now we can kind of play around with getting them into the little strip at the bottom. This part can be a little bit difficult for your first time. It took me a while to play around with this to get the spacing correct because you don't want it to be too crazy. You want it to be where over the Sunday box. And I think I like that color. I think I'm going to leave it like that. But you just kind of play with it until you get it to where you want it. I meant to lock this down a minute ago and I didn't. Let's do that quickly. I'm just going to choose the October. Let's see. This guy's not in this. I'm going to choose our background and then click October and hit flatten so that it won't move anymore. But yeah, so you just put this. Oops, now it's behind it. It's into the front. There we go. You just have to put it over here a little bit. It just takes a little while. You'll have to play around with it once you kind of get used to working with it. But I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of these, one for each day, get them in here, and then I'll come back in and show you guys what, once I get that done and what's next. Okay guys, so I just got all of these, like the day, titles of the day or whatever put in there. I got them all formatted easily. So it just takes me a little while. That's why I did it off camera. It's just really playing around with it and trying to get them all spaced evenly and that kind of stuff. I will say the easiest way to do that, and I could have showed you guys this, but since it's not wasn't my first time doing it, but I'm not a professional at it, I wanted to be able to have my time to play with it. It's easy though. If you go over here to Shapes, give yourself a square, and then unlock it up here so you can change the dimensions. Go to 0.25. Because that is like the thickness of this part is the same thing. And then come over here. What I did was split 6.5 into 4. So I just went into my calculator and did 6.5 divided by 4, and you get 1.625. So I changed this to 1.625. And then I just made 4 of these and laid them out on this, and then put one here, one here, one here, and then centered those words inside of it, and then just deleted it. So that's the easiest way I can do that. It just takes me a little bit to get it all formatted right and get everything lined up vertically and all that. So I just like to do it off camera. But now that we've got this done, that's it for this. So it's this part is completely ready. So I'm going to put that with all of that and flatten it as one. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these. Now I'm going to flatten that. So now, let's see, what is this? Oh, that's like a little itty bitty Tuesday. It can go away. Alright, so now you should just have 2 things in your little list of things over here. You've got this one and this one. So that is it for the headers. That makes them be, completely made. So now we're going to make a little strip that will cover up the part at the bottom. So we're going to go back to upload image, and I'm going to upload the other image that I chose just because I want something with another pattern. And this one's just this like burnt orange color with these white polka dots. I'm going to zoom out and crop it just like I did the last one. And I'm just going to crop it like this. I'm not super worried about how it looks. That's fine with me. You know what? I'm actually going to, I am a little worried about how it looks. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to make sure that I get like 2 rows of the dots, I guess. Well, come on. Uh-oh. What happened? Alright, here we go. We're on crop. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to get like 2 rows of the dots. I just like that better. Alright, and then we hit continue. I'm just going to call it like burnt orange dots. And we'll click save. Same thing, this will take a little minute, but once it comes up, we'll click it over here. You know, when it comes up over here, we'll click that, and then we're going to do insert image. It'll come up huge again, so we're going to tone it down to 6.5, and then I'm going to unlock it, and we're actually going to make this one 0.25. That looks a little funny, but let's try it again. Let me make another one. So let's do this. Like I said, it's a trial and error until you get it the way you want it to look. So I don't know. I'm sorry that it takes me a minute, but that's just what I do. So I'm just gonna do like this much of it, maybe. That might look okay. I'm just gonna save it as that because I don't like typing that back out. It really, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just whatever. So. Alright, we'll do this, and then same thing, we're going to tone it down to 6.5. Oh, this one might even be worse. Once it's, yeah, I don't like that either. How can maybe I should do more than 1 strip. I'm going to try it one more time, and if I don't get it right this time, then I will, you know, I won't bother y'all with it anymore. I will kind of go off camera and figure it out, and then I'll come back. But I'm going to try a couple more rows than what I had there. Like, let's do that. Just to see. I don't know. That might not work, but we'll give it a try. Alright, so while that is coming up, I will say, like, our dimensions, I told you guys I would give you the dimensions. So the dimensions for this one is going to be 6.5 still because of the length. And then we're going to do 0.25 for the width. That made it even worse. Okay. That one did not work at all. Come on, go away. Won't delete now either. I kind of almost like that one the best, but I still think it looks funny. I don't know if I should try again or what I should do. Let's do this. Try one more time. I said I would let you guys go, but I didn't. It never takes me this many tries, so I don't know what the deal is. Let's try like that. I still feel like that's going to be too much, but we'll try it. It looks cute if you can just get it perfectly without getting it distorted. If y'all have a way to do that without getting it distorted, please, please, please leave it in the comment box because I obviously struggle with this part. I still feel like it's going to be distorted, but that's not nearly as bad as that. So, I think I might go with that. Still looks a little different, but I think we're going to go with that. And so that kind of matches that up there with the color-wise. I think that'll be okay. Alright, so now I'm going to make just 2 of those. And that will be, this is it for the, like, calendar page. So you've got this that goes up on the left side. This one goes on the right side. I'm just going to move all these out of the way so we have some room to work. And then these are your strips for the bottom. So, that is everything for the calendar page ready to go. I may go up end up changing these before I actually like cut these, but for now we're going to move on just so I can show you guys how I make everything. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to make some expense trackers. Now, the first time that I did this, I wasn't super worried about making the expense trackers match, but I think since I'm going to be making them every month, I might as well make them match. So this month we'll do some oranges, some yellows, browns, that kind of thing. So I will show you guys how I do those. So all I did for mine was come over here and did a shape. Everything I do is done in squares, just so you know. And these are going to be 1.5 by 0.25. You kind of get the trend of 0.25. So that'll be the width of the whole sticker. Now it's going to be a print image. And the back of the sticker you want to make a little bit darker than whatever you want the front to be. So if you want the front to be orange, then you would make, or if you want the front to be like this orange, then you would make the back that orange. Or whatever, you know, however you want to do it. Now, I really wish that I could grab this and put on there because I want it to be a little more burnt. That's pretty close, honestly. That's pretty close to that color. Alright, so we'll do that for one. So then, to make the other part for this, I'm going to lock that one, and I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to unlock this one, and we want to keep it 0.25, but I can change that back in a minute. We're going to come down to about there, and we're going to make it 0.25, and then we're going to lock it. And I'm going to go up here and come to here, and I'm just going to make it a little bit lighter. Actually, we're going to go this way with it. Nope. It needs to be a lot lighter than that. Let's kind of come over into this area. That didn't work either. Let's try this. So I'm just going to copy and paste this so I can get back to that normal color. And really, if y'all were making these yourself, you don't have to do all the steps that I do. It just, to me, I want it to look a certain way. So I mean, that's just kind of how I do it. You want it to be pretty light, though. And then I'm going to align them vertically. I'm actually going to bump it down just so that I know it fits. It's a little too far bumped down. Alright, and then I'm going to copy and paste this one again. And this time I'm going to make a teeny tiny little square. So we're going to do 0.1 by 0.1. And that's going to make this little itty bitty square, if I can grab it. That way you can check off whenever you've paid whatever it is that you're wanting to pay. And then I'm going to go back through, center them all vertically, and that would be your expense tracker. Now you do want to make sure after you put everything in there that you go back up here and change it back to 1.5. Otherwise it may hang over a little bit, and I don't want it to do that. At 1.5 it will not touch each line. And if you have a planner, you know what I'm talking about. It won't touch each side of like the date box. You'll have a little bit left on each side, and I like it like that. I don't want it to touch each side. But this is basically how I do those. And then once I get the color I like, I will just copy and paste it, drag it over here. That way I can easily change the colors to the next one. And then I'll copy and paste and make like say 5 or 6 or however many I think I need for the month. And I will, go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the live recording. Lord have mercy. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording. I'm probably going to play with this a little bit more and try and get it to look a little better. And if I can't, then I may end up just doing some of these brown strips at the bottom. We'll kind of see, and then I'm going to play with this because I'm not in love with this color, or at least not the light color. So I'll play with that and then get the rest of them done, and we will come back together. Okay guys, so I got everything redone. I reformatted this so that it would look a little better. I also changed this color from that brown to match this, and then I made 10 of each of these. So I did it just like I showed you guys, is doing that, and then all I did was like duplicate it. So I would just click one and then hit duplicate times 10 or whatever, like however many you want. And then I just kind of format, like I just laid them out like they are here, just so they would kind of be all to one side and out of the way. But I did go back and fix this, so I want to share really quick what I did with you guys. Basically, I just put in one of these, and it didn't really matter which one. I don't know why I didn't think about this sooner, but I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit so I can show you. We're just going to play around with it, so let's just say we needed it to be 4. So if you needed it to be like, 0.25 or whatever, you could just come over here, and I'll zoom back in a little bit now that we've got it smaller. Come over here, go back to a square. I swear, y'all, square is like my favorite thing on here. Set it to be the same length of whatever you've got, and then you can set this to whatever. I just did it as an inch, so it would be smaller to move. And then you can overlap it a little bit. Grab both of these and then hit slice. And when you do that, it's going to cut part of that out. So then you see how it was that, now it's 2.45. So at this point, if you did go up and want to make it something different, you see it doesn't distort it as much because you're not moving it as much. So why is that not deleting? I did both I just did one and then I copied it, made a duplicate. So this right here is everything that I would need to do like the calendar spread. So I've got everything to put at the top. I've got those. I have the expense trackers. I don't really worry about covering up those days or those little boxes that don't go with the month. So like I know in October we have September 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th are like they show on the October spread. But I don't worry about covering those up. If you did, all you would have to do is pick out, whatever pattern you wanted to cover it with, and then measure the box and make it to fit that. So it would be really simple. I just don't care. It doesn't bother me. So, sorry, I'm like hitting my desk. I'm trying to get comfy. It doesn't bother me, so I just don't, I don't worry about it. I don't let it bother me. So, but anyways, that is that. I do want to mention, though, in the life planner, it does bother me, so I like to cover those up. It doesn't always bother me, but I just like to cover them. So now it'll get a little bit easier now that you've got the foundation laid for what your kit will look like. Now we're going to go in, and I'm going to zoom out just so we have some more space to work now. You're going to have to make whatever else you want. So like I said, once you have this, you kind of have the groundwork to go with whatever. So next, I'm going to make the October budget page. So basically what I would do for this, I'll come back up here, and I'm going to pick this one because it has the least amount on it. It doesn't have all 4 days, and it doesn't have the month. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to hit unflatten. Then I'm going to choose it again, and I'm going to hit unflatten. And then I'm going to pick this guy, and I'm going to duplicate him. And I'm just going to move him down here out of the way. And then I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to grab both of these, and I'm going to flatten them back. I'm not going to move anything. Make sure you don't move anything, because if you do, then you have to reformat the way that these fit. And then I'm going to grab everything, and I'm going to flatten it back. So now this should move as one cohesive piece, and it does. So that's great. And it won't look that distorted once you've got it. See, once you zoom in, you can see it a little better. It just looks distorted a little bit because we're so zoomed out. But now you have the base to put in your, like a header for whatever you want it to be. I'm going to do the August budget, but if you wanted this to be like a weekly check-in, all you would do is how we made this October and all these months, all these days, you would make the same thing that said weekly check-in. I'm going to make one that says October budget, and I'll show you guys the process again just so that, y'all get it. I want to be as real and open and try to be as detailed as possible so that y'all can do this on your own, because I personally know I love buying stickers all day long. I have no plans to not buy anything. Now, if we ever got to the point to where the extra money just wasn't there, then yes, stickers would obviously go because that's not a necessity. But I do like to, I enjoy the shopping part and like the getting it here and unpacking it and just seeing everything, especially with fall stuff. But with our budget planner, I didn't want to have to spend extra money, so this is just kind of what I'm doing. So with this, since it's a little less than what we need it, we need it to be 1.25. It's 1.246. That really doesn't matter. But I am going to go ahead and unlock it and change it back to what I would prefer it to be, and then lock it back. So now we've got that. That's really it for the header, and then you're just going to put your words on top. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Pixlr, and I'm going to make this not August. we're going to make it say October budget. So see, that is perfect. That works. Then we're going to go up here. We're going to save it just like we did a minute ago. Oh, okay. It fixed itself. Save it, download it, and we are good to go. So now I'm going to exit back out of this. And then we're going to go through the whole process again with uploading. I'm going to browse for it. We'll go to October budget. Open. Always save as a complex image. With these, you don't have to do anything, remember? So we just hit that. Make sure that that is the one lit up. We've got a name, and we're saving it. So it's as simple as that. It's really not that hard. It's really not, guys. It just takes some playing around and getting, used to using everything. And once you do that, you're good to go. Come on. Here we go. All right. So now I'm going to just center it, and then I want to see what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in and I'll, go over here. But I want to make sure that that looks okay, and I actually like it. It's a little bit bigger than I did for my August budget, but I like it. I think that works. So we're going to leave it at that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually not going to flatten it yet. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 more duplicates of this because I need one for each of my paycheck budgets, and I'm just going to drag these up here, stack them on top of each other, and we'll worry about that later. And then I'm going to go ahead and flatten that. So now that is all ready to go. Alright, so now the next step that we're going to do is make the little strip that would say estimated, actual, and then the difference. I personally like that. If you don't do that, you can make this to whatever y'all want to make it. Since you're making it, you do you. You make it look however you see fit. So for this one, again, we're going to go 6.5, and I'm going to do it by 0.25. So we're going to have a little skinny guy here. And then I'm going to come back over here, and I think I'll actually, let's see, I need to get that color. So what we're going to have to do is unflatten this again. I hate doing it so many times just because it's aggravating, but, you got to do what you got to do. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Advanced, and I'm going to grab that color name. Probably would be smart of me to, write it down or something, maybe. I don't know. But this is how we do. Okay, so then I'm going to go back here. And again, we are going to flatten it. Without moving anything, we're going to send it to the back. We're going to grab all of these dudes and that dude, and we're going to flatten it all back together. So again, it should move. I just always like to check to make sure it all moves together because that's what you want. Alright, so now that we're back over here, we're going to come back to this dude that we just colored in. You want to make sure that he's on print. If it's on no fill, that means it's going to cut it out. It's expecting you to already have colored paper like that or colored vinyl, and I don't have that. I print everything so I can get everything what I want. So that's just, that's me. That's how I do that. Alright, so again, we're going to go back over here to Pixlr because we need to make those words. So we're going to make one that says estimated. And I'm going to go up here, File, Save, just like we did a minute ago. I hope I'm not being super redundant, you guys. Leave me a comment in the description box because I don't mind doing these with you. If y'all want to do a monthly make the kit with me or whatever, let me know. I mean, I'm totally okay with doing that, but, I don't want to do it if it's super redundant. I don't want you guys to feel like I think you're stupid because I don't. I just want to make sure that I give you what you want. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that y'all know how to do this because it's not that hard to do. It's really not that hard to do. It just is time consuming, and if you have the time, then you're good to go. So we're going to put it in there, click it, and now here I always do for my words like this. If I'm putting a word on a strip, if my strip is the 0.25 in height, like it is here and up here, I make these words 0.2. So they're still big, they're still big enough, but and it's going to be on this side. Yeah, so I make the height of them 0.2. That way they fit perfectly in there, but it's not super, I don't know, whatever. Alright, so I'm just going to put him there, and then we need to make one that says actual. And we're going to download that. And I'm actually just going to let this go ahead. It has to do this little countdown thing right here. And I'm going to click close. And I'm going to go ahead and make the plus/minus. And see, that little minus thing, I don't know why the Gen Plans font does that, but it does. You know, I just, you know, go with the flow. Pick your battles, people. Pick your battles. So, all right. So now we've got both of those downloaded. And we're going to go over here. We're going to upload image. You can only do one at a time, but that's okay. I wanted to get both of them made so that they would be in there and ready to go. And then I just click through this. You have to wait on this to come up. If you click save too early, it'll tell you that it can't save it. Don't panic. Just go back and, you know, let it go through again. It's just because you tried to move a little too fast for it. I do that often. Alrighty, so see here you have a little bit of that little line behind it, but it's not nearly as bad. So I don't really worry about it. There ain't nothing I can do about it anyways, and I try not to worry about things that I cannot handle. So, whatever. Alright, so now we're going to insert those images, and you can do both of those at the same time. And then, whenever they decide to come up, here they come. Alright, I'm going to just drag both of them down here so they'll be out of the way. I'm going to grab both of them at the same time. No, I'm not, because you can't do it like that. Never mind. We'll change both of them to 0.2. It's going to look really small, but that's okay. It'll look good once you get it in there. And then you're just going to drag both of them over here and get them to where you want them. Now, I like to space it out a little better because I want enough room to be able to write underneath it. You can space it out however you want to since you don't have any like lines to follow here. So I'm just going to do it about like that. I think that looks fine. Now I am going to go ahead and grab each one of these and center them vertically just because I'm a stickler for making sure everything is straight, and it is. So that is good to go now. But before I get rid of that, I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of just the little strip behind it. And now that I've got that copy, I can flatten all this together and it is ready to print. Alrighty, so we are getting along here. Alright, so when I have this, I write, over here I'll write like income, and then I'll come down below it if we have multiple kinds of income. Usually we just have one Jeremiah, so I'll just put income, and then I'll write estimated, yada yada yada. And then I like to leave a little decorative thing. Like I'll put a strip underneath that's decorative. It doesn't have any purpose really. So I'm just going to grab one of those just so that I have it. And I'm going to put it right here right now so I can get this all formatted. So then the next one that we do is going to be total expenses. And I'm going to line it up and you'll see why in just a second that I do this. So I'm going to center them. Nope. Wow. Rookie move. I'm going to center these guys horizontally so that they are like, you know, straight in line here. And then on this one, I want to be able to put total expenses. Because if you haven't watched my videos that I did showed my August budget, it'll make a whole heck of a lot more sense if you go watch that first before watching all of this, because then you'll know what we're doing. And what I'm trying to explain will be a lot easier to understand if you've seen what I'm trying to explain, because I'm not always the best at doing that. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out just because there's so much in here before I download that. But basically with this, I'm going to put total expenses here. So what I do is I'll put this down, I'll put this guy down, then I'll write income, then I'll put the cutie thing, and then I'll write expenses. I'll list out all of our expenses, yada, yada, yada. And then I'll put this at the end. I'm going to put total expenses here, and then I'm going to put a little, like, one of these, like, toned down colored boxes here so I can write our estimated total, our actual total, and the difference. And then I'll do the same thing for a savings line, because we do like a, I guess you could say like a zero-based budget. Whatever is left over automatically either goes to savings or to paying toward the debt of some kind. We decide at the end of the month just what makes the most sense at that point in time. So that's just how we do it. So that's what you're going to see me make today, basically. What in the world? There we go. Alright, so we're going to go back over here to upload image. And none of these disappeared, but they should have. Alright, so we're going to go total expenses, complex, continue, and save. promise we are nearing the end. We just have to do the paycheck ones, but they're not nearly as hard because you have made almost half of everything at this point. So, or you've made over half, basically. You'll understand what I just said in a minute. I keep saying that. I promise we'll come full circle eventually, guys. It just takes me a minute to get there. My computer is wanting to be slow, I guess because we've been doing this for so long at this point. Alright, so now I have my total expenses. I'm just going to center him vertically over here. Alrighty. And then I want a box that's about this color. So this and that are about the same color. I think they might be the exact same color. So I want something similar to that. So I'm going to go here, duplicate this, and I'm going to make it a whole lot smaller. So we're going to go down to 2.0, and then we're going to go like 1.25 maybe. Yeah, that'll be plenty. And then I want to go up here. I'm going to go to advanced, and you can just drag it over so it'll be a lighter color. And I want it to be pretty light. I don't want it to stand out, you know, too much. Alright, so that looks okay to me. Now what we're going to do, like I said a minute ago, I just forgot that I did that. I'm actually going to go ahead and, well, let me duplicate this guy just because I will need another one in a minute. We'll stick him up there. I'm going to go ahead with these total expenses and that big line and flatten it so that they won't move. And then I'm going to center these horizontally again. So that way I can get this box lined, well, if it was at the front I can get it lined up perfectly with the estimated thing. Well, I won't say perfectly because I'm not going to sit here and fret over it, but there's that. So now that way it should line up pretty well as long as I write in a decently straight line. And so then I'm going to duplicate that twice, one for actual and then one for this guy down here. And I'm going to center them vertically. Alrighty, so that whole little thing now is ready to go. I am going to go ahead and duplicate this just so I have one because I will need one in just a second. And then I'm going to go ahead and flatten this guy out and he is ready for printing. Alrighty, so we're moving along. Alright, so we've got that one. Then I'm going to put them in the order that I will lay them down in. So what I'm going to do is actually move this guy up here, just so he's kind of sort of out of the way over here. Well, if I can grab the one I'm wanting. Then we're going to put the estimated thing here. We'll put a little decorative one in here. And then we'll put total expenses. And then we're going to put another decorative one just because I like to have that cutesy little thing. You don't have to do all that. That's just my personal preference. So that's what I do. Alright, and then we're going to drag this guy down here because that's our next task. For him, we're going to do basically the same thing as this. We're just going to have, you know what, I'm actually going to delete this because it's going to be exactly the same. We're just going to change the wording. So I'm going to make a duplicate of that. Duplicates and squares will be your best friends on this thing. I don't know why that is the case, but it is. Alright, and so I'm going to go ahead and grab this and I'm going to send it all the way to the back just so we can still see these guys. And then we don't need this little total expenses, so I'm going to delete him. And where is Safari? Here we go. Alright, moving right along. We're going to go ahead and make a line for savings just because that's, like I said, we do a zero-based budget, so that's what works for us. You do whatever works for you. And again, I hope I'm not being super redundant, guys. I'm not trying to, but I just want to make sure that y'all get what you need. Get what you ask for. So, go back here. And it's a lot easier for me just to keep it running while I do little things like this versus stopping it and starting it back as soon as I got this done because it doesn't take but a second, as you can see. Once you get the hang of that, it's really simple to make the script stickers. And you can do any font you want to. You just have to pay attention closely to the little white background and make sure that it aligns with whatever you're typing out and whatever font you're using. The Gen Plans font works perfectly. So that's why I really like to use that one. And I think it looks nice. It looks clean. It doesn't look crazy. So that's just kind of what we do. Alright, again, I'm going to center them vertically just so everything is nice and in line. And then we're going to flatten her. Alrighty, so we've got the entire October budget ready to go. That's all I make for that. Now you can make other line items if you wanted one that said like income or expenses, whatever the case may be. I'm okay with writing that in, so this is all we do. So that's it for that one. So now all we have left to do is the paycheck budgets. But all of this will stay the same for both. So I'm going to duplicate it twice. That way we'll actually have a total of 3 of those. I'm just going to move these guys out of the way a little bit. We're going to go ahead and have to zoom back out because we are really cutting it close here with space. Oh no, it doesn't really matter. They're not in any kind of order. Well, I just want to be able to move them out of the way a little bit. Alright, so now I made some of these. So I'm going to just stick one with each of these. And then all we have to do at this point is make the paycheck stickers. So I'm going to make, or the paycheck scripts. So we'll have paycheck 1. Save it, and I'm just going to title it 1. And then I'm going to wait for this to count down, and I'm going to go ahead and do the paycheck 2, and that's it. That's all that I make. Again, you can make whatever you wanted to. So if you wanted to make one that said, instead of paychecks, if you wanted one that said like weekly check-in or sinking funds or debt tracker, whatever you wanted to do, y'all just do you. I'm just putting this out there as a resource for you, I guess. Resource is like all that's in my brain right now after being at school all day last week, or like all week last week and all day today. I keep getting all these resources, so that word is like way in my head right now. Alright, so where is, what did I even just make? That's bad. There we go. Paycheck 1. I'm trying really hard to get this done for you guys so I can put it up. When y'all are seeing this, it will be up Tuesday, hopefully. But I've been working on this all afternoon. It feels like I started it at like 5 and it is now almost 9 o'clock. It hasn't taken me that long. I haven't been sitting here that long, but we went and ate dinner at my sister's. So that took a lot of time, and here we are at 9 o'clock. We're still working on this. But it's okay because I don't have to be at school till a little later tomorrow since it's like our Meet the Teacher Day. Alright, so now we got both of those made. I'm going to try and make them as close to this size as possible. Again, I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is. I'm just ready to be done at this point. Not really. I want it to look good, but I'm not going to stress myself out over making it, the best of the best. I'm not trying to sell anything here, so I'm just here to do this for you guys. And so that I have something cute. I think that turned out pretty cute. Alright, so that's really it. At this point, I have everything that I would need to do the whole month. Now I am going to go ahead and cut it out. Like I said, I'll show you guys that part. But I'm going to do that, obviously, not on a screen recording because y'all want to see the real thing. But yeah, so this is basically it. Again, if you wanted, different colors of these, you could just keep adding until you got what you needed, or more of these. You just, make it to whatever you want to make it. I'll try not to say that again because I'm like drilling that in y'all's head right now. But anyways, the only thing that I do want to show you guys before I hop off of here is how I go ahead and send everything to the printer. Everything will go to the printer before it will go to the, I can't even think of what I was going to say. Before it'll go in the Cricut, it'll be sent to the printer to print out everything. So, like I said earlier, you have to make sure that everything says print instead of no fill because you don't want it to cut it. You don't want, you're wanting it to print first. So, the easiest way to do that is to go up here to make it and see how it looks when it comes up on here. So you see we've got all that. It's all hooked together though. As long as everything is hooked together, then you're good. So see, I messed up. My paycheck 1 and 2 is down here. I did not flatten it to those. So we're going to go back. We're just going to hit cancel. It's an easy fix. You just go back to here, and as soon as they all load back, she's having a hard time because there's so much in there. Come on. As soon as it all comes back up, so here we'll just click this, and we'll hit flatten. Same thing over here. That and that. Did I even hit it? I'm not sure. And we'll hit flatten. And then the same thing, I'm going to go back up here to make it and check it again. So I just keep doing that and making sure that there's nothing wrong. All these are good. October budget, paycheck 2, paycheck 1, October, and then those. And then we'll look and see what's here. This one should mostly, yeah, most of this is the expense trackers. Now you can move things around here if if you were trying to make this look cute or whatever. You can move things around and reformat this to look the way you want it to before it cuts or before it prints. That's probably what most people who do it like a Etsy business would do. They're going to make it look a lot better than I am. I'm not that worried about it, like I said already, so we just kind of go with the flow. But yeah, so everything looks good, so you're just going to hit continue. I haven't plugged my device in, my Cricut in, so it's going to say that it's not there. But at this point, I would just hit send to printer. I always leave this here. It adds a little extra, so that way you don't have, it adds what's called a bleed. So basically you'll have enough ink to when it cuts, it won't look funny. I just leave it on there. You do whatever you want to do, but that's just how I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to the printer as soon as I get some paper in there, and then I will show you guys what it looks like when it comes out of the printer and all that good stuff. So I'm going to stop the screen recording and I'll catch you guys on the other. Okay guys, so I know this part of the video is going to be a little more shaky because I'm holding my phone now, but I did want to show you guys the paper that I have. You want to put the back side in, like, I don't know, y'all can't even tell, but it's a little shinier than the front. On the camera you can't tell it, but you can definitely feel it. You want the like back side of the paper to come up. That way it kind of drags it in this way and prints it out, I guess. But now that's all ready to go. I'm going to hit yes that it is specialty matte paper. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to hit print. And we're going to hope that it all comes out right. Because if it doesn't, then we're going to do it again. Alright, so let's see what happens. Alright, so I got both sheets printed. That's one. And then that's the one that has the trackers on it. So now I'm just going to lay them down onto the Cricut mat. I've already pulled the little sticky part off the top. Or the part that makes it not stick to everything. I'm going to have both hands, so I'm not going to be able to really film this. But I did want to share one tip with you guys. When y'all plug in, if you have a Cricut like mine, whenever you plug in and get everything ready to go, it's going to start flashing for you to start it. But you have to decide what is in there. I always go over here to custom whenever I'm doing sticker paper. And then you can come down here, and mine is actually saved as a thing, but you can search for it. So if you didn't want, whatever you have up there, you can browse all materials and do sticky notes. Sticky note seems to work the best, at least in my situation with the paper I use and everything. That just works the best. So then you would load it in and press go and you'll be good to go. So I'm going to get this going and I'll show you guys what it looks like after. Alright guys, so we got everything cut out. I know you guys can't really tell it that well, but it is all cut out. So here's what it looks like. I do want to kind of try and zoom in a little bit, and I'm sorry that we're going to get a little shadow here. But I wanted to show you guys this little, maybe if I take a pen, y'all be able to see it a little bit better. This little section right here, that is what the bleed is. So that gives you a little extra, and when it cut, it actually cut it like not on top of that bleed. So that whole part will come up. It just gave you a little extra room for cutting. So typically it wouldn't be that long. Like I would make this and then I would go ahead and put it into my planner, but I do have a little while, so I'm going to find somewhere safe to store this for now. But yeah, so this is it. It's all made. If y'all have any questions about anything I used or how I did anything, or you want a specific tutorial on one part or whatever, if there's anything y'all want to see, just let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to accommodate whatever I can or answer any questions. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you can see me actually use this sticker kit that we just made towards the end of September, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Alright, bye guys.